gained unmatched football strength, surpassing Messi and Ronaldo. Episode 71. After saying goodbye to Tenans, Lin Rui returned to the training base and continued his afternoon training. This whole day, Lin Rui spent the whole day in training. By the end of the 10-hour training session in the evening, he had exchanged a little attribute points and added them to the ball. That way he had 70 points on the ball. At this time, he was already able to dribble skillfully. He has thoroughly mastered the basic techniques of ball control at this time. It will no longer be the same as before, where the ball can wade several meters at a time, and his inward shot is also very skillful at this time. But after all, without actual combat, he doesn't know what his current inner kung fu will look like in the game. The next day, the team resumed training, and when Lin Rui came to the training ground, many teammates had already arrived. Seeing Lin Rui, everyone greeted him very friendly, especially Gabby. When he saw Lin Rui, he still complained a little. "Lin, I said yes that day that I will have a treat. How did you pay the money in the end? Who pays differently? If you have a chance to play later, it's never too late for you to pay." Lin Rui naturally said this set of polite words that were very standard in China. "Well, yes, next time we have a chance, we'll go play again. When the time comes, you must treat me." Gabby was very happy, feeling that Lin Rui, the little brother, was very good. At this time, Cork also came over, and the first time he saw Lin Rui, he said resentfully, "Lin, I didn't expect you to be able to drink so much. Yesterday I slept until almost noon before waking up, and I didn't even touch the girl's hair. It's a pity. I won't drink with you in the future." Hearing Cork's words, Lin Rui and several teammates all burst out laughing. The atmosphere on the entire training ground suddenly became cheerful. At this time, Simeone and assistant coach Herman came over. Seeing the relaxed expressions of the players, he frowned slightly. Soon he blew the whistle of the whole assembly. All the players lined up at once. 20 minutes of warm-up, and after 20 minutes, we play a half-hour inter-team match. Then I will train according to your performance. Simeone directly announced the rest of the training session and then started getting the players ready. In this inter-team match, Simeone made some adjustments, transferring Lin Rui from Group B, which represented the substitutes, to Group A, which represented the main team. Adrian was transferred from Group A to Group B. This intention is obvious, and Adrian may be a substitute for Lin Rui in the future. This result was also expected. With Lin Rui's performance in the last game, it is strange that Simeone did not make this adjustment. It's just that in this way, Adrian is uncomfortable. Giving a teenage newcomer a substitute is somewhat difficult for him to accept. So after Simeone announced this decision, Adrian's face was ugly. However, Simeone's decision, he has no way to refute it. After all, he is not yet a big star, and he has no capital to resist the manager. However, he had already made up his mind that if he had the opportunity, he would definitely give that Huagua guy some color to see. Soon, the game began. Simeone stood on the sidelines observing the performance of each player. After a few minutes, Simone's eyes became surprised, because he found a problem. That is, today's Lin Rui seems to have changed a lot compared to last week. That's when you get the ball and dribble more. Although the one-on-one or one-to-many pass has not yet appeared, it is clear that he can take 2 steps after getting the ball. That's a big step forward. You must know that Lin Rui basically did not carry the ball before. When he gets the ball, he either shoots straight or goes out quickly, never letting the ball stay at his feet too much. Now it's different. After he gets the ball, he will first judge whether it is a pass or a shot or a direct ball forward. Then the corresponding action will be made according to the situation on the field. In this way, Lin Rui's threat has greatly increased. Because in the past, the defender only needed to guard against his passes and shots, and now he has to add one more thing, that is, to prevent the opponent's dribbling breakthrough. When did this guy practice dribbling? Why don't I know? Simone murmured. At this time, there was a new change on the pitch. At this point, it was Group A that was on the offensive. Lin Rui received a pass from Gabby on the left side of the outside of the box. The defenders of Group B rushed to defend. In this position, the defender has completely blocked the angle of the shot. This left Lin Rui completely without room to shoot. In the past, when encountering this situation, Lin Rui's choice could only be passing. But today he didn't. I saw that when Lin Rui's defenders in Group B were less than 1 meter away from him, he suddenly stretched out his right foot, and the outer instep quickly flicked on the left side of the football, and the football was dialed to the right, and suddenly dodged the defensive player who was on the snatch. Immediately after, Lin Rui pulled out his foot and shot. The football was driven directly into the far corner of the goal by him. Group B goalkeeper Ahayer was unable to save for a while, and the football directly grazed the inside of the right post and flew into the net. Seeing this scene, Simeone chuckled. This is inside shot? When did Lin learn this trick? Simone muttered. Except for Simeone, the other players were also very surprised. Gabby ran up and patted Lin Rui's shoulder very excitedly and said, "You boy, you have a good hand inside. When was it learned?" "I practiced blindly a few days ago, but I didn't expect to use it today," Lin Rui said perfunctorily. Eileen, Gabby was directly speechless. This thing you practiced blindly to this extent, Where do you let the faces of our people rest? You guy, what a monster. Gabby shrugged helplessly. He really envied Lin Rui's talent now. The conversation between the two was also heard by the people around, and everyone had a hellish expression. Lin, there will be a chance that you will do a few more inner cuts. Turan, Raul and Gabby, a few of you pass the ball to Lin. I'm going to see his level of involvement. Simeone on the sidelines suddenly shouted at Lin Rui on the field. Hearing Simeone's shout, several people immediately agreed and resumed the game. After the game resumed, Lin Rui consciously began to move on the left side of the penalty area. Several midfielders in Group A also had the opportunity to pass the football to Lin Rui's feet. However, at the same time, the defenders of Group B also knew that Lin Rui had an inside skill, so they also consciously strengthened their defense against this. For a while, the game on the field began to become tense. Episode 72. Soon, Lin Rui received the pass again at the same position as the goal just now. This time it was Turan who gave him a half-high ball. He stretched out his foot, unloaded the ball, and faced Pulido, the B defender who came up to intercept him, and Lin Rui repeated his old trick. The outside of his right foot flicked the ball, and immediately dodged Pulido's upper grab, and then Lin Rui made a gesture to hit the goal. Pulido had long been guarding against Lin Rui's hand, so he immediately stretched out his right foot to intercept, trying to intercept the football shot by Lin Rui halfway. But what he didn't expect was that Lin Rui's shot just now was a fake action, and when his raised right foot fell, he did not kick the football, but turned a corner, and used the instep of his right foot to pull the ball to the right again. This completely dodged Pulido's interception. Taking advantage of this vacancy, Lin Rui quickly got up and shot. Boom! With a blast, the ball flew into the goal without any spinning. The goalkeeper of Team B can only sigh and sigh. There is nothing he can do. And Pulido, who had just intercepted Lin Rui, also fell to the ground because he lost his center of gravity. By the time he got back up, the football was already in the middle of the goal. Pulido looked at Lin Rui with complicated eyes, and his face was full of helplessness. What a ball! Simeone on the sidelines saw Lin Rui's performance and slapped his thigh excitedly. He didn't expect Lin Rui to even use fake movements. This hand tricked the defenders by pretending to shoot and fooled a veteran defender like Pulido, a veteran of La Liga defenders for many years. Now Simeone is a little skeptical. This kind of proficiency can never be achieved in just a few days of practice. At this time, the game on the field was also nearing its end. In the end, thanks to Lin Rui's 2 goals and a breakout shot by Falcao before the end, Group A won 3-0 against Group B. Lin, come here. As soon as the game was over, Simeone beckoned Lin Rui. Is this inner cut of yours really what you just learned these days? Forget it, I've been practicing before, but I haven't been able to get the essentials. But I suddenly had an epiphany in the past 2 days. Lin Rui said without changing his face. Hearing Lin Rui's words, Simeone was relieved. Let's just say, this guy can't just practice. He nodded, and his face was full of approval and said, very good, this technique of yours will be practiced more in the future, and it will be of great use in the competition. You know Robin, right? He is relying on a hand of internal cutting kung fu. In the game is invincible, although your inner cut and his ratio may still be a little different. But as long as you work hard, I believe that you will not be worse than him in the future. Yes, head. I will. Lin Rui nodded and said, okay, you go and continue training. Seeing Lin Rui's attitude so sincere, Simeone was very satisfied. When Lin Rui turned to leave, Simeone turned to look at his assistant Herman next to him and said excitedly, from now on, my team has another killer skill. I didn't expect this guy Lin to bring me such a big surprise. Seeing his boss so excited, Herman asked a little puzzled, head, is this so powerful? Isn't it just an in-cut technique? Herman, it seems that you need to go through a little more training. Simeone was obviously a little unhappy with the assistant's problem, but eventually explained, you are right, this is just a skill, but there is one thing you don't see, you have to see who is using this skill. It's Lin who is using it. What is his original biggest feature? Simeone asked, looking at Herman. Yes. His power? Herman said with some uncertainty. Yes, it was his heavy artillery shot. But I remember that the day before yesterday, his shot broke Batiste goalkeeper's arm. So as long as he is given the opportunity to shoot, Lin's shot will definitely be a nightmare for all goalkeepers. And his biggest shortcoming before was that there was no way to hold the ball, and even if he held the ball, there was no way to break through the layers of defense. He could only wait for someone to give him a pass, and he could only shoot when he had time. If this continues, Lin will eventually have to make an ordinary pie and wait for others to feed him. The ultimate achievement is also limited, and now, he has mastered the unique skill of cutting inside, which makes up for his shortcomings. With this technique combined with his heavy artillery shot, I really don't know any other defensive line that can protect him. If Lin were my opponent now, I would definitely have a huge headache for my team's defense. And the good news is that now Lin is our people, so you know now why I'm so excited, right? Simeone analyzed it and immediately made Herman mouth stunned. It is not how powerful the inner skill itself is, but that after this skill is combined with Lin Rui's characteristics, it becomes very incomprehensible. Imagine a guy with more shooting power than Barty, cutting inside with the ball on the edge of the box and then shelling the goal. That picture. It is estimated that few goalkeepers are willing to try. That would be even greater than Robben's Int Roche threat. Because Robben does not have the ability to beat the opposing goalkeeper to a broken bone, after all. Oh my god, Herman couldn't help but snort. Got it? Looking at the assistant's expression, Simone asked with a smile. Understood. It is estimated that our opponent will have a very headache in the future. Herman nodded excitedly and said. Lin Rui didn't know that his head coach was already imagining the beautiful picture after his great achievement. Today's actual combat exercise has greatly improved his internal cutting skills. It put him in a good mood. But something happened today that made him a little busy. That is, during training, there were a lot of fans gathered outside the training base, and there were hundreds of people. They carried banners with Lin Rui's name on them and gathered outside the training base. These fans came to see Lin Rui. They gathered outside the training base and refused to leave for a long time. In the end, there was no way, and the security guard could only inform the team of the news. So Simeone called Lin Rui and asked him to meet his fans outside the base during his lunch break. When they saw Lin Rui come out, hundreds of fans flocked forward and surrounded Lin Rui. Lin Rui was still a little nervous for a while, but soon, he felt the warmth and friendliness of these fans. Lin, your performance is amazing. We came here to show our respect, you don't have to worry. A middle-aged strong man in his 40s saw that Lin Rui was a little nervous, and quickly explained. Others responded immediately, seeing so many people coming to support him. To be honest, Lin Rui was still very moved. It was the first time he felt the enthusiasm from ordinary fans. This made him a little more determined to choose to continue his football career after his rebirth. Episode 73. It took more than an hour to meet the fans' request for a group photo. That's what made the fans disperse. Lin Rui shook his wrist, which was a little sore because of the signature. How tired he is. Lin Rui muttered. He felt that this hour or so made him more tired than a day of training. But there is no way. As a professional player, the more famous you are, the more this kind of activity will be in the future. You can only keep adapting. In the following week, under Simeone's conscious training, Lin Rui became more and more proficient in the skill of cutting inside. Now purely from the effect point of view, Lin Rui's insider shot can already be comparable to Robben. Even because Lin Rui's strength is greater, his shooting effect is better. This greatly relieved Simeone. At the same time, he was also stunned by Lin Rui's progress speed. Watch as the figure on the field skillfully uses the inside cut to dodge the defender and then send the ball into the net. It's hard to believe that this guy just learned this trick last week. And Lin Rui has successfully raised his ball control level to 78 points through the attribute points accumulated through these days of training. This level of possession already ensures that he is comfortable using the inside or breaking through with the ball. This weekend's league match, Atletico Madrid will take on Rayo Vallecano. Strictly speaking, this game is also a city derby, because their opponent Rayo Vallecano is also a Madrid team. It's just that the strength of this team is much worse than Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. They are promoted horses who just came ashore from the second division the year before last. The results in the league have also been hovering in the relegation zone, so against such an opponent, Atletico Madrid will not have any pressure. And that's exactly what happened. Saturday night, 8:30. At this time, the match between Atletico Madrid and Rayo Vallecano had been going on for 30 minutes. At the Vallecas, the home of Rayo Vallecano, which has a capacity of more than 14,000 people, the players of Atletico Madrid are celebrating their goals. Lin Rui was surrounded by his teammates and sent him congratulations. At this time, on the scoreboard, the score of 0-3 made the home fans at the scene silent. On the contrary, the away Atletico Madrid fans who came to watch the game were singing and dancing at this time, a scene of the new year. From the very beginning of this match, Atletico Madrid took the initiative. In the 7th minute, it was Falcao who fired a low shot from inside the box to take the lead. Then in the 16th minute, Lin Rui rushed into the top of the box and sent the ball directly into the bottom right corner of the goal, 2-0. After that, Atletico Madrid played more and more easily, and finally in the 30th minute, Lin Rui took the ball on the left side of the penalty area, cut directly inside, swung away the Vallecano defender who came up to block, and directly shot and sent the ball into the net for the third time. The score became 3-0. It was Lin Rui again. He scored his second goal of the game, the team's third goal. Incredibly, who would have thought that this is a newcomer who has only played less than 2 games? In the live broadcast room, Lu Jian's voice was filled with irrepressible excitement. Lin Rui is really powerful, although Atletico's opponent Rayo Vallecano in this game is poor, but it is also a La Liga team. It's not that anyone who wants to score a goal can score. In addition, Lao Lu, have you noticed Lin Rui's goal just now? How did he score? Zhang Lu watched Lu Jian sell Guanzi. How did you get in? Kick it in. Lu Jian opened his mouth and came, and immediately made Xu Fan on the side laugh. Zhang Lu was also amused, so he stopped selling the pass and began to explain. Just now, Lin Rui made an inward action before shooting, dodged the opposing defender who came up to defend him, and then got up and shot. What's wrong with that? Lu Jian was still confused. Of course there is a problem, and the problem is not small. But that's a good thing. Think about it, has Lin Rui used inner cutting in previous games? Zhang Lu followed the seduction. It doesn't seem to be. Lu Jian shook his head. Yes, but now he can cut inside and see how smooth his technical movements are. What does this mean? This shows that he has another big killing weapon in his arsenal. In the future, as long as he has the right opportunity, he can directly cut inside the goal, which is much better than when he can only passively wait for others to pass the ball to him. In addition, I don't know if you have noticed that in this game, Lin Rui's dribbling is obviously more than before. Although he didn't have too many one-on-one breakthroughs, he was no longer the same state as before, either shooting or passing after taking the ball. It makes it even harder for opponents defending him. In the past, a defender only had to defend his 2 options, but now it has become 3. I really don't know what Lin Rui went through this week. Why is it progressing so fast? Zhang Lu repeated what he had observed in one breath. This made the other 2 lay moderators pause. That means that Lin Rui has become more powerful now? Xu Fan doesn't care about those complicated football techniques and terminology, he only cares about Lin Rui, so to speak, and it's getting powerful. Zhang Lu said with a smile. Haha. I knew that Lin Rui was the best. I just didn't expect him to be so great. Receiving Zhang Lu's confirmation, Xu Fan suddenly smiled. At this time, Lu Jian suddenly thought of a question, and he asked with some curiosity, speaking of inner cut, I thought of Robin, isn't his inner cut also his famous stunt? Director Zhang, who do you think Lin Rui's inner cutting level is more powerful than Robin? Is this? Zhang Lu was a little embarrassed, but in the end, he still said with some uncertainty, it should be Robin who is more powerful. After all, he has been famous for many years, that inner cutting technique is already perfect. Lin Rui is only 18 years old, even if he first practiced inner cutting when he first came into contact with football, it was not as long as Robin, so I think Robin should be better. But I think in time, Lin Rui will catch up with Robin's level. Well, that makes sense. Lu Jian nodded repeatedly, obviously agreeing with the other party's words. However, Xu Fan on the side did not agree with the 2 of them. I don't think so. I think it's Lin Rui who is powerful. Why? There's no why, it's feelings. I just feel that Lin Rui is even more powerful. Hearing Xu Fan's words, both of them laughed. They thought that the other party was fascinated by Lin Rui and said so. But 2 big men naturally don't argue with a girl about these things. Seeing that the 2 stopped talking, Xu Fan smiled with satisfaction. I just think Lin Rui is the strongest. She thought silently in her heart. Episode 74. After Lin Rui scored the 3rd goal, there was no suspense in this game. Atletico Madrid also slowed down at this time and began to play comfortably defensively and counterattacked. Rayo Vallecano wanted to attack at first. They don't expect to equalize anymore, but it's good to be able to get one in. It was only towards the end of the first half that Atletico Madrid seized the opportunity and broke the ball in midfield to launch a counterattack. This counterattack ended with Raul Garcia's final shot. Although Raul Garcia's shot hit the crossbar and flew off the line, it also scared Vallecano's players into a cold sweat. In the second half, it was easy to fight again. Vallecano went on the offensive. It's just that they seem too impatient. In this way, it is difficult for them to take care of their back. In the 55th minute, Rayo Vallecano's fullback came up to assist, but the football was directly tackled by Mario Suarez. After Suarez broke the ball, he directly found Gabi, who was active in midfield with a long pass. Gabi dribbled forward with the ball and directly instigated the counterattack. At this time, most of Vallecano's players were up front, with only 2 trailing center-backs left in the back. Atletico Madrid's side fired 3 arrows in unison. Gabi was on the right, Lin Rui was in the middle, Falcao was on the left, and Raul Garcia followed behind them. In an instant, a situation of 4-2 was formed. In the end, by Gabi's cross, Lin Rui was in place in the middle and directly pushed the ball in. 4-0. This goal also completely killed the suspense of the game. At this time, the home fans could no longer bear to watch, and many fans began to leave the stadium early. And although the fans of Atletico Madrid are very excited, they do not stimulate the Vallecano fans too much. After all, they are in the minority. If there is a conflict, it is they who suffer. The Vallecano players on the pitch were completely stunned, and they were no longer able to organize an effective attack at this time, because they are afraid of losing more balls. Seeing that Rayo Vallecano does not attack much, Atletico Madrid's side is certainly happy to see it. So the rest of the game time turned into garbage time. Seeing this, Simeone also began to make substitution adjustments. In the 61st minute of the match, Lin Rui, the hero of the hat-trick in this game, was replaced by Adrian. When Lin Rui left the field, he was warmly cheered by the visiting fans in the stands and received a heroic courtesy. Lin Rui was also very happy. he raised his hands and waved towards the stands. Simeone then replaced veteran Gabi with Cork and Raul Garcia with Thiago. Simeone used up all his substitutions at once. It can also be seen that he has completely put down his heart in this game. In fact, there really is nothing to worry about. In the last 20-odd minutes of the game, neither player had much mind to continue attacking. In the end, the score of 4-0 was also maintained until the end. After the match, Lin Rui was re-elected as the best player of the match. At the same time, due to the hat-trick, the match ball was collected by him. After playing 2 games, getting 2 bottles of champagne and 2 game balls, Lin Rui was in the limelight for a while. And after this game, Lin Rui miraculously ranked first in the scorer list with the number of 6 goals. And behind him is the famous Messi, who has scored 5 goals in 4 games. Behind Messi is Cristiano Ronaldo, who scored 4 goals. They are also followed by a number of big stars, Benzema, Higuain, Di Maria, Villa, who have scored fewer goals. When this information was announced by Lu Jian in the live broadcast room, there was a sudden jubilation in China. Lin Rui, it's awesome. Surpassed Messi and Ronaldo, I can't imagine it. The point is that Lin Rui only played 2 games to achieve such results, which is simply against the sky. Nope? So excited. I really didn't expect that I would live to see this one day. Originally, I thought that Huagua would not be able to produce such a genius in 100 years. I didn't expect to slap me in the face so quickly. But this face hits me so comfortably. Don't be too excited first. Lin Rui is just here now. Others are not familiar with him, so he can easily score so many goals, but as other teams become more and more familiar with him, when they start to study him, it is the time to test him, and by that time, he may not be so easy to score. Boom. Upstairs, what you said, Lao Tzu doesn't know. But I just support Lin Rui, I just believe that he can overcome it. Anyone who is not convinced, can argue. Yes. Support Lin Rui. As soon as he was happy, there were deflated calves to splash cold water. I really want to curse. Brother, you're already scolding, you're scolding people. Lean. Really, that guy is a deflated calf. Scold, groove. Who the hell do you say is a deflated calf? It's you. What? You bite me? I don't think about you guys who don't have the quality. Looking at the crazy surging comments and messages in the live broadcast room, the 3 hosts also looked at each other and laughed. In fact, what the fan in the comment just now said still makes some sense. The reason why Lin Rui can achieve such results now has something to do with him being a newcomer and other teams not being familiar with him. As soon as Lin Rui becomes famous later, other teams will definitely study him, and when Lin Rui wants to achieve such results, it will not be so easy. Of course, even so, what Lin Rui has achieved now can be called the pride of Chinese players. Even if it is unprecedented, it may be difficult to have another Comer later. Zhang Lu analyzed very rationally. Lu Jian nodded in agreement. However, Xu Fan did not give face, and said directly, I don't think so. I think Lin Rui can continue to be so powerful. No matter what other teams do to target him, I think he can crack it. Hearing Xu Fan's words, Lu Jian and Zhang Lu couldn't help but look at each other and laugh. But as a big man, of course, you won't argue with a girl or anything. It's just that no matter what the outside world thinks, anyway, after this game, Lin Rui's name is even louder. Especially in China, now is the time when football stars are most lacking. Lin Rui's appearance was like a gonlin, pouring mana in the hearts of a group of football fans who were already hungry and thirsty. However, at this time, Lin Rui had no time to take care of these. He is traveling with the team to Russia, where they will face their first opponent in the group stage of the Europa League, Russian Premier League side Krasnodar. Episode 75. Krasnodar, Russia, is a large city located in southern Russia. Here, there is FC Krasnodar, the youngest team in the Russian Premier League. This club was founded in 2008 and is very young. However, although this team is young, its strength is very good. When the team was founded in 2008, they were just a Russian second division. However, the following year, in 2009, they finished third in the league and were promoted to the Russian first division. Another year later, in 2010, they were promoted again and went straight to the Russian Premier League. Until this year, he qualified for the Europa League. It can be said that this team has been open all the way since its inception. In just a few years, he stood on the European stage. This is not a small miracle on the European continent. Last season, Atletico Madrid finished fifth in the league and ended up missing out on the Champions League and had to play in the Europa League. In the draw at the beginning of the season, Atletico Madrid were drawn into one group with Krasnodar in the Russian Premier League, Prat in the Czech Republic and Atlanta in Serie A. Atletico Madrid's first opponent in the Europa League was Krasnodar. Atletico Madrid came to Krasnodar the day before the match. Spain and Russia are far away, and it took more than 7 hours for Atletico Madrid players to fly here. Due to the lack of people, when the players of Atletico Madrid checked into the hotel that had been booked for a long time, Simeone directly arranged for the players to rest. As for the training, it was placed the next morning. The hotel room is for 2 people. Lin Rui and Quark were divided into a room. Lin, after dinner later, let's go around the neighborhood, shall we? As soon as he entered the room and put his things down, Quark suggested. I'm not going, I'm going to the gym for a workout. I'm going to rest all over the plane today, Lin Rui said while moving his arm. Are you still going to exercise? Crazy, right? Quark exclaimed. In his opinion, just after doing a long flight, going to exercise is pure madness. Lin Rui looked at the surprised Quark a little strangely, as if he didn't understand why the other party had such an attitude. He didn't want to waste time shopping. When he was shopping, he could redeem an attribute point. I'm not crazy, I just think shopping is too wasteful of time, Lin Rui answered truthfully. This made Quark roll his eyes directly. You're such a training maniac. Well, then I won't go shopping either, let's go to the gym together. Okay, Lin Rui smiled happily. If someone trains with you, it won't seem too boring. When they checked in, it was already past 4 o'clock in the afternoon. After settling in, it's time for dinner. Lin Rui and Quark had a simple dinner in the restaurant, and then went directly to the hotel's gym. The facilities of this hotel are relatively complete: swimming pool, gym and other facilities are all equipped. Lin Rui and Quark easily found the gym on the 5th floor. This gym is not small, and there are still many equipment in it. However, not many people exercise at this time. The two first found a treadmill, jogged on it for more than half an hour, and after fully moving their bodies, they began strength training. Lin, your strength is so great, have you ever tried where your limits are? Kirk looked at Lin Rui's explosive muscles and asked with some curiosity. Haven't tried. Lin Rui answered truthfully. Then let's try it today. Quark was immediately interested. He scanned the gym and then fixed his gaze on a bench press rack not far away. Just practice this, Quark said, pointing to the bench frame. See how much weight you can push. Lin Rui nodded. He also wanted to see what level his 100 strength could reach. The two came to the bench press frame, and Lin Rui first chose a weight of 500 pounds. This weight is basically the limit of most athletes. But for Lin Rui, this is just an appetizer. After installing the barbell plate, Lin Rui lay on the bench press platform. Then he lifted his hands, grabbed the barbell rod on the barbell rack, and with both arms, the 500-pound bar was easily pushed up by him. After trying to push a few times, Lin Rui put the bar on the barbell stand. Then he said to Quark, give me weight. Okay, Quark agreed, picked up 2 50-pound barbell slices, and added them to each side of the bar. This makes the weight of the barbell become 600 pounds. Lin Rui lifted the bar easily again, and after doing a few bench presses, he said again, keep adding, add more. Ugh, Quark was a little surprised. 600 pounds to add? This guy is so perverted. However, seeing Lin Rui's relaxed expression, he didn't say anything more. I found 2 more 100-pound barbell pieces and added them to each end of the bar. The weight of the sub-bar was increased to 800 pounds. This weight, which is known for its strength, cannot be pushed up. You must know that the Big Shark O'Neal at his peak, the bench press is only more than 600 pounds. Olympic champion heavy weightlifters, their limit is around 800 pounds. Now that Lin Rui was going to challenge this weight, Quark couldn't help but be a little worried. He came to the top of Lin Rui's head, preparing for a while if Lin Rui had a situation, he could rescue him in time. Seeing Quark's actions, Lin Rui didn't say anything, and he reached out again to hold the barbell bar. Then with both arms, the entire 800-pound barbell was lifted by him. This time, Lin Rui finally felt a little bit of difficulty, but it's only a little bit of effort. His arms holding the barbell are still very stable. Slowly retract your arms, and then push them up hard. 1, 2, 3. 15 PCS. After doing 15 bench presses in a row, Lin Rui felt the soreness in his arms, and he put the bar back on the barbell frame. And at this time, Quark was already looking stupid. Is this Nima still human? 800 pounds, 15 bench presses, and depending on the situation, the other party can continue. It's also terrifying. Keep adding weight, up to 900, Lin Rui said. Well, good. Quark was already a little stammered by this time. He hurriedly added another 100-pound barbell piece. Saw Quark get it right. Lin Rui held the barbell again, took a deep breath, and with both arms, the 900-pound bar was lifted by him again. This time he really felt the struggle, but after getting used to it, he started the slow but steady bench press again. After pushing 7 or 8 in a row, Lin Rui put the bar back on the barbell holder. Keep adding. I'm going to challenge myself to 1,000 pounds. Lin Rui gritted his teeth and said. Episode 76. Hearing Lin Rui say that he would challenge 1,000 pounds, Quark was directly dumbfounded. Lin, can you do it? That's 1,000 pounds, Quark said with some concern. He was afraid that Lin Rui would be injured. If the injury caused by the bench press affects tomorrow's game, he estimates that Simeone can swallow him alive. It's okay, I'll try. If it doesn't work, pull it down. You give me a little protection next to me. Lin Rui said indifferently. Okay then. In desperation, Quark could only continue to add weight to the barbell according to Lin Rui's request. At this time, the movement on their side has long alarmed the people who are exercising in the gym. Seeing that Lin Rui was going to challenge the bench press weight of 1,000 pounds, everyone was stunned. This guy is crazy, right? That's 1,000 pounds, and I've never heard of anyone who can bench press 1,000 pounds. I remember the Guinness World Record for bench press is 950 pounds, and if he can push 1,000 pounds, isn't that going to break the Guinness World Record? I'm a little afraid to watch it. In case this guy can't push it up, the scene will be miserable. Indeed, let's take care of it on the side for a while. Don't really kill people. By this time, Quark had increased the weight of the barbell to 1,000 pounds. Then he beckoned a strong man over from the crowd watching the lively crowd next to him, and he was alone to do sports protection for Lin Rui. Lin Rui took a deep breath, grabbed the barbell rod with both hands, and then with both arms, the barbell lying on the barbell stand was slowly lifted by him. This time, Lin Rui finally felt strained. He started slowly recycling the barbell, a slow process, but he did it steadily. When the bar has returned to the chest position, after a pause, the upward press begins. At this time, Lin Rui's muscles burst, and he mobilized the strength of his whole body to slowly push the barbell up. Shoo! Seeing this scene, there was a sound of gasping around him. Soon, Lin Rui completely made a bench press action. Then the second, the third. After doing 5 complete bench presses, Lin Rui felt that his arms were numb, and there was no way to continue doing it. So he slowly put the barbell on the barbell holder. Syllable. 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 When Lin Rui completed this series of actions, there was a burst of applause around him. Groove. Brother, you are so powerful. Hercules, dude, you broke the Guinness record, you know what? Everyone stepped forward to greet Lin Rui. These people are fitness enthusiasts, and for a strength man like Lin Rui, that is the most admired. For a while, Lin Rui became the focus of the entire gym. At this moment, a gust of fragrant wind came, and then a nice voice with a bit of tongue curling sounded in Lin Rui's ears. Hello sir. Lin Rui looked up, and his eyes suddenly lit up. I saw a tall Russian beauty standing beside him, looking at himself with a look of surprise. This is a typical Russian beauty, about 20 years old, long blonde hair, high nose, deep eye sockets, delicate facial features, large eyes, especially long eyelashes, flickering, looks very kawaii. What attracted Lin Rui's attention the most was the girl's figure. The girl's height is 1.75 meters, and her figure is perfect front and back upturn, fat where it should be fat, thin where it should be thin, absolutely no excess meat. Especially at this time, the girl is still wearing black tight fitness sportswear, which further sets off her proud figure. The girl went to that station and immediately attracted the attention of all the men present. Lin Rui could even hear the sound of saliva coming from. Seeing that the beautiful woman's gaze was looking at him, Lin Rui reacted that the other party was talking to himself. Hello, what's the matter? Lin Rui smiled and said hello to the other party. Hello, introduce yourself. My name is Natasha, the owner of this gym. I am looking for you to discuss something with you. Do you have time now? Let's go to my office and talk. Hearing the other party's words, Lin Rui was stunned again. He didn't expect that the young girl on the other side turned out to be the owner of this gym. It was really unseemly. I just didn't know what the other party was looking for him, but he didn't hesitate much, so he agreed. After all, there are many people here, and he doesn't want to be watched. Natasha led Lin Rui and Quark to an office in the corner of the gym. Ching and the two sat down on the sofa, and let people bring 2 cups of coffee to the two, and then Natasha said, well, sir, I came to you to ask you, are you interested in being the image spokesperson of our company? Spokesperson? Lin Rui was stunned, but quickly reacted. It seems that the other party should have seen his bench press record just now, so he planned to make himself the spokesperson. Seeing Lin Rui stunned, Natasha patiently explained, our Golden Hook Fitness is a chain fitness brand, now expanding the market. If you are interested in joining, we will give you a suitable price. With such an explanation, Lin Rui understood that this gym was not simple, it was a chain brand. No wonder you need a brand ambassador. However, for these things, Lin Rui will not talk about it himself. He stood up and said, I have no opinion on endorsements, but I don't care about these things. If you want to cooperate, contact my agent. Broker? You are? Natasha was a little shocked, but she didn't expect that the handsome Asian on the other side still had an agent. My name is Lin Rui, I am an Atletico Madrid player, and I am here to play here. For business cooperation matters, you need to contact my broker. Ah. Are you a player? That's great. Natasha heard that Lin Rui was a player of Atletico Madrid, and she was even more happy. If Lin Rui is just an ordinary person, then his endorsement requires their company to create momentum for each other, and it needs to invest a lot of publicity costs, and it is really difficult to say what effect can be achieved in the end. But now that Lin Rui is still a footballer and a player of the famous Atletico Madrid, the star effect is much greater. Natasha felt like she had picked up the treasure. It's just that in this way, the cost of endorsements may be much higher. However, it seems that the other party does not seem to be 2 famous players, as long as the negotiation is good, the price should not be too high. Episode 77. When Lin Rui returned to the hotel room, it was already past 10 o'clock. In the end, Lin Rui gave Mendes contact information to Natasha. Now he remembered the shocked expression on Natasha's face when she knew that her agent was Mendes, and he was a little amused. I don't think the other party could have imagined that a well-known agent like Mendes would be an agent for such an unknown player as himself. Lin, that beautiful boss just now looks really energetic. Ever thought about taking her down? Quark said with a lewd smile. Natasha? Forget it, that woman is not easy to provoke. Lin Rui shook his head and said, why? Quark was puzzled. To become the owner of such a big fitness chain at such a young age, do you think her family will be an ordinary family? I don't want to be remembered by Russian oligarchs or something, Lin Rui explained patiently. Ah. No way? No, I have to find out what this Golden Hook Fitness is coming from, Quark said and took out his phone and began to search. After a long time, Quark raised his head and said with a shocked face, I checked. This internet says that Golden Hook Group is a fitness chain enterprise under Alpha Group, in addition to gyms, but also operates various fitness equipment, clothing, etc. The company's market value is more than 1 billion euros. Lin, I really got you right. Do you know Alpha Group? I don't know. Lin Rui was a little confused. The Alpha Group used to be one of the 7 oligarchs in Russia. Later, after Pu the Great came to power, most of the 7 oligarchs were cleaned up, and only Friedman, the boss of the Alpha Group, survived. His enterprise is now the largest private company in Russia. You say this Natasha won't be Friedman's daughter, right? Kirk said with a gossipy look. No matter who the person is, it doesn't matter to us. Hurry up and rest. Tomorrow we have to train and compete. Lin Rui was a little impatient with the other party's broken thoughts. Why doesn't it matter? People want to speak for you. Knowing the strength of the other party, you can get a suitable price. Quark said, very experienced. You have a point, but those are things Mendes should worry about. I won't think about it. Lin Rui said that he no longer took Riktik, but washed by himself, and then went to bed. Seeing Lin Rui's indifferent look, Quark couldn't help shrugging his shoulders, and muttered, what a guy who doesn't understand the style. At the same time, Natasha on the other side had also found out Lin Rui's information. She was shocked when she learned that Lin Rui had just been promoted to Atletico Madrid's first team and scored a hat-trick in 2 consecutive matches. Now he finally knows why Mendes made him an agent. With such potential young players, it is strange that Mendes is not moved. Although Natasha is not strictly a football fan, she is a fitness business, so she is also considered a sports person. She understands the value of such a rising football star. And most importantly, this player is still a Chinese. And their Golden Hook Fitness, now in addition to the Russian and European markets, the most want to develop is the Chinese market. I originally thought that I was just an ordinary person with a little potential, but I didn't expect to find out now that the other party turned out to be a super big coffee who needs to be taken seriously. This contrast is too great. Natasha was still a little confused for a while. It seems that you need to take a closer look at this, Lin Rui. Picking up the phone, Natasha dialed a number to go out. When the phone was connected, she said directly, Lena, get me 2 tickets for tomorrow's Europa League match between Athletic Madrid and Krasnodar. The next day, the Europa League match, the whole Atletico Madrid team practiced together in the morning. After training, the team returned to the hotel to rest. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the bus carrying the Atletico Madrid players drove to the stadium of this competition, Krasnodar Stadium. At this time, on the way to the stadium, it was already possible to see groups of fans wearing Krasnodar jerseys. The fans immediately booed when they saw the bus carrying Atletico Madrid players. There were even fans who gave the middle finger to the bus. Seeing this scene, the Atletico players in the car were all indifferent, not even blinking their eyelids. They have experienced hundreds of battles, and it is naturally not surprising that they have seen this kind of scene a lot. However, Lin Rui was a little annoyed. He looked at the home team fans on both sides of the bus who were constantly provoking the bus, and his eyes couldn't help but shine with anger. Hey! Relax, man. Don't deal with those people. Quark, who was sitting next to Lin Rui, saw Lin Rui's expression and immediately reminded him, aren't you angry? Lin Rui looked at Quark and asked, angry? No, why should I be angry? They're just doing a fan's duty, and if their team goes to play with us, our fans greet them the same. This is the norm, and the more you experience, the more you get used to it. So there is nothing to be angry about, Quark said naturally. Well, it makes sense, then I'll say hello to them. Lin Rui said, and without waiting for Quark to stop it, he opened the window of the bus, and then he waved his arm towards the crowd next to him. Eileen, seeing Lin Rui's actions, Quark was stunned, and the other players were also sluggish. War Captain Gabby reacted quickly pulled Lin Rui back, and then closed the window. Then I listened to the bang, and I didn't know what hit the window. Immediately afterwards, there was a sound of ping-pong, which came continuously from the car body. Lin Rui was a little confused all of a sudden. He looked at Gabby in confusion, and asked weakly, what's going on? Lin, do you want to kill everyone? What you just did will be considered a provocation by the fans below. There are no security guards standing in the way, Gabby roared. Lin Rui then understood how dangerous his actions were just now. The moment just now must have been a counterattack taken by the fans who thought they were offended. At this time, the driver of the bus also realized the danger, quickly increased the speed of the car, and quickly left this dangerous place. Lin Rui turned his head to look at the back of the bus, and saw that there were still many fans chasing towards the bus, and they were still throwing something at the bus with something unknown in their hands. Seeing this scene, Lin Rui was also speechless for a while. This gang of Russian football hooligans is also too fierce. However, the two-legged man definitely couldn't catch up with the bus so soon. The crazy fans were thrown away. After Lin Rui exhaled lightly, he was also secretly annoyed in his heart. This hatred must take revenge back. Episode 78. Remember, in the future, when you are away from home, don't easily expose yourself to the outside of the car, it's really dangerous. Gabby admonished Lin Rui again, and then stopped. Of course, Lin Rui nodded. This time it was caused by my own inexperience, and I had to admit it if I was wrong. The bus soon entered the Krasnodar Stadium, the stadium of this match. The stadium is the home of Krasnodar and can accommodate more than 33,000 fans at the same time. At this time, there were not many people in the stadium stands. After Lin Rui and they entered the humble away team dressing room, they began to prepare for the game. Cork was combing his hairstyle repeatedly until he came up with a satisfactory hairstyle. Gabby was wiping his sneakers repeatedly. Even though his sneakers were spotless, he was still carefully wiping them over and over again. Falcao sat there quietly, meditating motionless with his eyes closed. Courtois is meticulously manicuring his nails. As for Lin Rui, he didn't have any special proclivities, so at this time he took a football and practiced upside down there. With the improvement of his ball control and ability to stop the ball, his level of ball has improved tremendously. In the past, it was impossible to turn a dozen balls, but now it is very easy to turn hundreds of balls without landing. And now in a cramped room, this tests the ball technique even more. Lin Rui easily picked up the ball, and then bounced the ball up, fell, bounced, and fell very easily. The other players around saw Lin Rui's bump ball, and they all had complicated faces. They remember that when Lin Rui first entered the team, the technique of turning the ball could really be described as miserable. But I didn't expect that in just over 10 days, the other party would be able to improve to this level. Although no one in this will have worse ball turning skills than Lin Rui, there is no way to compare the speed of progress. And the reason why Lin Rui chose to practice the ball was not that he wanted to show himself in front of his teammates, but because he was still a little short of practice. He could reach 10 hours of training points, and he could redeem another attribute point. And the practice of bumping the ball can also increase the number of training points. Finally, after half an hour of practice, the training points finally increased to 10. Lin Rui immediately stopped the ball upside down practice, and issued an order in his mind, directly redeeming an attribute point. This attribute point was added to the ball control again, and the score of the ball was suddenly brought to 80. This is the highest value he can achieve for the time being. At this time, assistant coach Herman walked in and asked the players to go to the field to warm up. The players fished out of the dressing room and onto the pitch. At this time, the stadium stands have already begun to fill the crowd. Seeing the players from both sides come out to warm up, the fans also began to cheer and cheer. In a luxurious box, Natasha was talking to a middle-aged man in his 40s. If anyone familiar with Russian football sees the middle-aged man, they will surely recognize that the other party is the retired former Russian international Oleg Salenko. He was specially found by Natasha to investigate Lin Rui today. Seeing the players come out, she turned her head and glanced, then pointed to Lin Rui, who was doing passing and receiving training with her teammates, and said to the middle-aged man, "Mr. Oleg, the number 18 of Atletico Madrid is the Lin Rui I mentioned you. It's him that we're going to examine in a moment." Salenko looked in the direction Natasha was pointing and saw Lin Rui in the stadium who was passing the ball to his teammates. However, Lin Rui's passing level is really not good, and the football he kicked did not control the force, and suddenly flew over the head of Cork, who was about to receive the ball, so that Cork could only run to pick up the ball with a helpless face. Seeing this scene, Salenko shook his head lightly and said a little strangely, "This level of passing, how did he blend into Atletico Madrid? Could it be that he and Simeone have some relationship that we don't know about? Is it bad?" Natasha asked suspiciously. "Well, now it seems that at least in terms of passing technique, it is very poor. As for whether there is anything special, it is difficult to say now." "Oh, I heard he scored 6 goals in his first 2 games, and I thought he was going to be great. 6 balls?" Salenko was clearly a little surprised. "That's really powerful, but with the ability he's showing now, it's really hard to believe. How did he do it? It's really puzzling." Salenko's eyes showed a puzzled look. Just as the two were talking, Lin Rui and Cork did several passing drills. In these few drills, Lin Rui's passing was as bad as ever. This made Salenko in the box frown even more. Soon, the players warmed up and all went back to the dressing room. Watching the players leave, Salenko shook his head and said, "Now it seems that the young man's body is really strong. You said that he can bench press up to 1,000 pounds. This really surprised me. Maybe he relied on his physical condition to score so many goals when other teams were not familiar with him. But if it's just good physical fitness and strength, then he can't go far. After all, professional football is not simply relying on the body to eat, but also requires skill and awareness. As for whether this is my judgment, when we wait for the official match, we will take a closer look. Solenko's tone could not hear anything, but it was obvious that he was a little unoptimistic about Lin Rui. Natasha didn't know much about this. Of course she listened to Solenko and everything. She is still rejoicing in her heart. Fortunately she brought a professional, otherwise with her own kind of ball blindness, there is really no way to distinguish between good and bad players. The match was scheduled for 8 p.m. local time. At 7:45, players from both sides entered. Then came a series of pre-match rituals. At this time, in China, in the live broadcast room of Sports Weekly, the three hosts were already in place. In fact, the Europa League matches are really rarely broadcast live in China. This is mainly because the Europa League is certainly not as popular as the Champions League. In the past, everyone watched European games, but they all chose to watch European games, and no one would pay attention to the Europa League. But now with Lin Rui, naturally everything is different. The popularity of this Europa League with Atletico Madrid's participation in China is definitely more than the Champions League held at the same time. This is the first time that a Chinese player has appeared in the Europa League. Therefore, Sports Weekly also attaches great importance to the live broadcast of this event. Episode 79. Good evening to all fans. Welcome to the live broadcast room of Sports Weekly. I am Lu Jian. Today we bring you a match from Group B of the 2012 to 2013 UEFA Cup. The two sides are La Liga side Atletico Madrid and Russian Premier League side Krasnodar. This game will be explained by me and my old partner Zhang Lu, as well as our beautiful host Xu Fan. First of all, let's take a look at the starting lineups of both sides. Home team Krasnodar side. Goalkeeper, number 1 Yuri Yushchenko. Defenders, number 2 Christian Nobnov, number 3 Alexander Marchenko, number 4 Igor Smarov and number 14 Nile Chenchchuk. Midfielders, number 15 Fernando Luciano, number 8 Marcelo Masensky, number 12 Jov Seplin and number 15 Viktor Fedorov. Forwards, number 10 Dmitry Turts and number 19 Sergei Shurikov. They put out a 4-4-2 formation today. Let's look at the away side of Atletico Madrid. Goalkeeper, number 13 Courtois. Defenders, number 23 Miranda, number 3 Felipe Luis, number 2 Godin and number 21 Fran. Midfielders, number 14 Gabi, number 6 Cork, number 8 Raul Garcia and number 10 Alda Turan. Forwards, number 9 Falcao and number 18 Lin Rui. Atletico Madrid also came up with a 4-4-2 formation today. Okay, let's go back to the game and we see that the captains of both sides have completed the side-picking ceremony at this point and Atletico Madrid have been given the kick-off. The manager has blown the whistle for the start of the game and the game between the two sides has begun. Let's start with the game. On the court at this time, after the referee blew the whistle at the beginning of the game, Lin Rui immediately passed the ball back to Raul Garcia behind him, and he himself immediately ran to the front. Raul Garcia took the ball and immediately dribbled forward. Yurikov came up to intercept and was directly wiped out by Raul Garcia's pull ball. Erasing Yurikov, Raul Garcia did not continue to break through with the ball, but directly kicked straight through, passed the football through the gap between the two defenders, and found Lin Rui who was inserting forward. Lin Rui stretched out his foot to stop the ball, and then turned around with a pull, and faced the direction of the goal. Seeing Lin Rui take the ball, two defenders of Krasnodar, Marchenko and Smolov, hurriedly came up to grab it. At this time, Lin Rui's position with the ball was 5 or 6 meters outside the penalty area, a little to the left. Facing the upper grab of two defenders, Lin Rui quickly used the outside of his right foot to directly make a light lateral pick, dialed the ball to his right side, and suddenly dodged Marchenko's upper grab. Immediately afterwards, Lin Rui raised his right foot and made a shooting motion, tricking Smolov into quickly stretching out his foot to block. But this time, Lin Rui's shooting action was a fake action. After luring the defender to stretch his right foot drew a circle in the air, and then he repeated the trick. The outside of his right foot gently slammed to the right, and immediately dodged the shot. Then he pulled his foot and, boom! The moment Lin Rui's right foot hit the football, there was a dull crash. At the same time, the football flew towards the goal like a cannonball. Krasnodar's goalkeeper Yuri Yushchenko saw the football flying over. His heart was suddenly shocked, and he quickly flew to the rescue. But Lin Rui's football shot was too fast, and he arrived in front of the goal in the blink of an eye. And the angle of this shot is also very tricky, going directly to the upper right corner of the goal. Yuri Yushchenko, although he had tried his best to block the shot, was still half a beat slower. The football grazed his hand and flew directly into the net. Shoot! The ball went in. The ball went in. Less than a minute into the game, Lin Rui scored. It's incredible. This is the first goal of a Chinese player in a European competition, and Lin Rui has once again made history. In the live broadcast room, the moment Lin Rui scored, Lu Jian jumped up all of a sudden. At the same time, Zhang Lu and Xu Fan also jumped up. This ball. When did Lin Rui learn to cut inside? And his stoppage this time, the ball control in one go, is very skillful, which is not like his previous style. He wasn't that good before. Could it be that he has improved again these days? Zhang Lu said with some confusion while clapping his hands excitedly. It must be, Lin Rui is a genius, isn't it normal for him to improve? Xu Fan had a natural expression. Then the speed of progress is too terrifying. It's like yesterday, he couldn't walk, but today he can run. Is this still human? This is also too contrary to the laws of reality. Zhang Lu was still a little hard to believe. That's right, you can't measure Lin Rui by the standards of ordinary people. Is he an ordinary person? That's really not. It's just that this is also too unusual, Zhang Lu said helplessly. On the court, after Lin Rui scored the goal, he was very excited. He ran directly to the corner kick area and came to a skating kneel to celebrate. It was the first time his in-the-box shot had been successful in an official match, which made him very excited. The players of Atletico Madrid did not expect to score so quickly, and after a moment of sluggishness, they all ran up excitedly, surrounded Lin Rui, and celebrated wantonly. And the visiting fans who came to watch the game with the team in the stands immediately boiled. However, they were too few in number, and their voices were quickly muffled by boos from the home fans. In the box, the atmosphere between Natasha and Selenko seemed a little awkward. Oh. So, Mr. Oleg, what do you think of this ball? Natasha asked with some doubt. Salian was a little sluggish, and when he heard Natasha's question, he said with some difficulty, this. He scored a little fast, and it's hard to say whether it's his personal ability or luck. But it's always good to score goals, at least this Chinese guy still has something worth examining. In the back, Selenko's speech gradually became smoother, and it seemed that his mood had calmed down. The scene just now really embarrassed him. Just after saying that people can't do it, people turn their faces and score. He felt his face swollen a little, but fortunately, he is calm enough and good enough to nourish Chi Kung Fu. Although it was a little embarrassing, I was able to cope with the past. He still feels that Lin Rui is lucky. As the game continues, the opponent will definitely show their feet. And now what I have to do is to observe with wide eyes, without missing any details. Episode 80. At this time, on the pitch, the celebration of Atletico Madrid finally ended with the intervention of the referee. The two sides returned to their respective halves, and the game resumed. Having just conceded a goal, Krasnodar's players were eager to equalize. So at the beginning of the game, they launched a fierce attack on the goal of Atletico Madrid. In the 6th minute, Luciano dribbled the ball in midfield, and after passing the intercepting Coke, he directly kicked straight to find Tels at the front of the box. The latter faced Godin, who was on the upper side, dodged the gap with a lateral pick, and then directly volleyed with a powerful kick. Courtois reacted quickly and fell to save the ball. In the 11th minute, Seplin crossed directly from the right. The football bypasses the defenders and accurately finds Shurikov, who was fighting for the top spot in the box. Shurikov headed straight into the top. It's a pity that his header didn't eat the right part, and the football crossed the crossbar and flew out of the bottom line. 3 minutes later, Cheshchuk tripped by Gabi with the ball in front and Krasnodar won a free kick in front. Luciano's free kick was picked up by Courtois straight out of the air. Courtois then countered by throwing the ball. Cork received the ball and quickly rushed forward with the ball. Falcao, Lin Rui, and Raul Garcia fired 3 arrows in unison, straight into front of the Krasnodar gate. Suddenly, there was a rumble in front of Krasnodar's door. In the end, however, Koch's pass was blocked halfway through Krasnodar's defenders, and none of the 3 Atletico Madrid strikers could touch the football, and the ball was pressed under the body by goalkeeper Yuri Ishchenko. After that, the two sides attacked and defended each other, but no goals were scored. In fact, in terms of paper strength, Krasnodar's strength is much worse than that of Atletico Madrid. However, because they were eager to equalize and were on their home turf, they did not show too passive on the scene. On the contrary, they often have performances that can threaten the goal of Atletico Madrid. This made the home fans in the stands very excited. They keep cheering for their team. With their support, the Krasnodar players are also very excited, constantly attacking the goal of Atletico Madrid. I didn't expect Krasnodar to play like this with Atletico Madrid. It seems that every team that can participate in European competition is not to be underestimated. In the live broadcast room, Lu Jian couldn't help but sigh with some emotion. Indeed, to be able to participate in the European zone, even the Europa League that is a notch below the Champions League, it is also the top clubs in the national leagues, they all have their own characteristics. So it must not be underestimated. Zhang Lu also nodded in agreement. Alas! Why didn't Lin Rui score a goal yet? Dying. Shu. Fans' words immediately broke the defense of the two hosts who were sighing. Xiao Shu, you are too anxious, and Lin Rui can't always score goals. This football game is not a basketball game, and you can score dozens of goals in a game. Lu Jian said with a smile. Yes, Lin Rui scored a goal is enough, you can't ask too much. Zhang Lu also had a funny look on his face. I know what you guys are saying, but I just hope that Lin Rui will score more goals, and it is best to score more than 10 or 20 of his goals in a game. Xu Fan pouted and said, dozen or 20? Well, how dare you think? Lu, Jian and Zhang Lu seemed to smile bitterly, with an expression of being defeated by you. Quick! Take a look. Lin Rui got the ball in the front court. At this moment, Xu Fan screamed excitedly, which immediately made everyone's eyes return to the court. At this time, the first half of the game had reached the 40th minute, and the score was still 1-0. After an early onslaught, Krasnodar's disadvantages were gradually revealed. Their attack has now struggled to break into Atletico Madrid's dangerous zone, with only occasional long-range shots from the perimeter. After stabilizing the defensive line, Atletico Madrid began to slowly push forward. It was Lin Rui who received a pass from Cork at the top of the arc of the penalty area. Facing Nobnov, who came up to intercept, Lin Rui skillfully swung the ball sideways with the outer instep of his right foot, and then dodged Nobnov's upper snatch. Then, without waiting for the other party to react, it was directly a blast. The ball flew over the top right corner of the goal. Yuri Yushchenko quickly flew to the rescue. His fingers are like a football. However, just when he was overjoyed in his heart, he felt a strong force coming from his fingers. Then he saw to his horror that the ball did not change direction after touching his fingers, and it hit the net behind him so straight. The ball went in. Score, Lin Rui. He scored again. Atletico Madrid changed the score to 2-0. Seeing Lin Rui score the ball, there was a sudden burst of chickens and dogs jumping in the live broadcast room. No one expected that Xu Fan would really score another goal. It's amazing too. Zhang Lu looked at Xu Fan and said, Xiao Xu, has your mouth been opened? Just said that Lin Rui wanted to score, and he really scored. Hearing Zhang Lu's words, Xu Fan suddenly became a little proud. She said with a smile, I know that Lin Rui will definitely not let me down. Haha. You cattle. Zhang Lu gave Xu Fan a thumbs up. At this time on the court, seeing his shot scored, Lin Rui excitedly made his signature bodybuilding move to show his physical strength. The rest of Atletico Madrid's players pounced on him one by one. In the box of the stands, Solenko was completely stupid this time. He kind of didn't know what to say. Or did Natasha finally break the awkward atmosphere and asked with some uncertainty, this is called a goal, right? Can this still be considered luck? Hearing Natasha's words, Solenko's face suddenly covered with black lines. Luck your sister. Who is this humiliating little girl? Solenko complained inwardly. However, for his own gold master, he was also not good, and could only smile awkwardly and said, well, it really can't be said to be luck anymore. Now it seems that this young man from Huagua still has 2 strokes. Yes, it's quite powerful. Natasha was finally relieved to hear Solenko's words, and then she smiled. It seems that I really want to take this cooperation seriously this time. At this time, the game on the field also reached the end of the first half. With the referee's short whistle sounding, the first half of the match between the two sides ended.